preko enti nyame pa wochena say no kwa start Savannah no I the northern regions and also 5 northern regions also I dey na waba nti it's good one is capital intensive it's also very stressful in terms of physically and as to drain you because kasa juma and they are trying to convince over 200,000 people even though won't even convince you piano but the idea is to sell your message to majority of them nti yeguso is very well ongoing here. Yeah, we did say rather be kasa Nyankopon pa next year.
So campaign message, you know, to say, looking from, I think the last contest was 2023. Yeah, from now till now, I can say, campaign message, you need to say the same campaign message, and now, anima is sent, you know, we are following the trend.
Oh, Ken, a campaign message here, Tiawa, is anchored on no mam you know. The kind say, obetima jitumi ayede am a party no. Okay. Say yeah kind of crash here hopa ordinarily no. 2028 is not a history of voting pattern. And then aban bia eba power. Emra wotena power. Bia 8 years yina cycle na na. Ordinarily 2028 anka any can say MPP edia. If you are being very honest to ourselves.
Okay. Like during the 8-year cycle.
8-year cycle. So yeah kind of history. 1992 aban bia about 8 years no corner. Okay. Into 2028 if we are making a case to say ye kwa akwaje pa dia na ye hia obi a owo saa akokodro no a obetima ide akwaje because NDC even though Mahama will not be there after 4 years omunya mu tra saa anya dey emaye nti ya seminar na say we need obi a very strong candidate obi a party for near the aginidi obi a Ghana for so ye the aginidi we say ye kagidi a nipa nimeka so somebody has been marketed obi so marketed. But at the end of the day, no, you can marketing senko for aginidia. The marketing will then translate into acceptability. Okay. And nipa yede aginitum. And your marketing say visibility. So baby ano, I say you share the difference between visibility and acceptability. Visibility is say presence. Oh ho, But I don't just say yede you talk. You na ya jiwatum. But marketability say oh but nipa yede ajiwatum. That is the difference between Ken and the other candidates. So Ken, nipa be brave the agency. Oh, you say Ken, you say Ken, but Obia say Ken already or can okre. Obia say oh Ken the wakukudru. Obia say Ken the odi adwuma man obey. Obia say Ken the the track record the nyuma obi bia or can already or yo. So 2028 is about that courage. 2028 is about nipa wakukudru betima de akwajitima de amai. And I'll tell you what Ken will not do in 2028. So Nyankopon pa na ekoto abana Kenya candidate in 2028. Say easy ma 72 hours. At no point who came back to say after 24 hours wajaya dey atum. No. He will fight till the end. Onye nkukuntum. He will not even go ahead of easy. Or he will fight till the end and make sure so be protecting no protect also the pieces and also the members of parliament. And also one important thing a market message party for no jia tumu we know him to be fighting for the grassroots. Now grassroots, you all fighting for Mokeke. You are fighting for them in what area, in what aspect? And in the case of Ken, what Ken is going to do, say Nyankopon na party for ede and eba obeye no mamienu obe create nyuma obeni ha ho hia me pa nyuma no jobs for one more certificate and also create jobs for non-certificate holders, which is also very crucial. Because one here yes a party for buy but at the end of the day buy so we need certificate in the so Ken is going to create two kinds of jobs, one for certificate holders and almost any certificate. And I me post to idea on my Facebook or on my Twitter. One idea is we saw Sadeba. So now you know you maybe and in his private life and his private capacity and why now or you will say the faith-based organizations, the religious-based organizations. Sorry. Mosques, those community associations and religious associations. Instead say who sorry sorry Ken I dream Paul mom say or be show much a partner and they will also be operating businesses. And sorry, yes. And you back me to say Domia. Say Domi Presbia, who say be a show massy, maybe you be in show factory. Domi Hona say or move to me recruit 20. Na Domi SD. No say a show massy, it be almost so more the logistics and the resources. So be a place before some more Sasakakra or more office be kakra. and is a beer farmer who's a beer wash easier for it no most be almost yet way plantation we Roman for na abana partner no most you say assuming with that meeting say Dominguano yeah sorry Marco 20 I'm talking about the denominations no be to me recruit 20 of on church members as a 20 times 20 400 Domingo created 400 jobs and that is a vision Ken is coming with. If you ask me then I can be I'll tell you in 3 very statements or phrases. Ken is going to create jobs, Ken is going to create jobs, and Ken is going to create jobs. And one thing over.
Okay. And you go share delegates now. Now say or move from this phase to the national phase.
Yes.
Jobs now no catch delegates.
Yes. And also obey to me some party for. So let me say ordinarily 2028, if you are talking about the natural order of things, it's not for MPP.
Okay.
NDC will want to break, we also want to even break the 4 and repeat the usual 8-year pattern.
Okay.
I mean, chances are that a Julius and I say, I see you. But as my Kenyan say, one more bar, more banner. They will not want to leave power. What I say, after 4 years, and who he will be on your day or you could do for.
Okay.
Who he will be in a near day, I will be to me no my day. After so say, oh, within a space of 4 years, my bad year. But it's not John Mahama who is going again. It's a new candidate in our day, Oba. And 2 new faces in India, and not there or no Kennedy Agyapong but try day. Amobi. So he's also going to win power because we say just near there Kenya. Say if you don't have power, I say obviously candidates obviously or rich ideas or superior ideas, obviously or ideas and pragmatism. If you don't have power, say ideas in your emphasis will be on day. Because ideas never can them implement.
So can better G2 media ma NPP going to the 2028 elections when amount for free say even 2024 election a constituency or JMO edema NPP candidate going to me win.
I think that one you say much for any entire say.
Okay.
Say the popularity of a candidate matters in every election. We share Ascent Central first we can ascend off the account.
Yeah.
We on back sema 96 na Kenya day eba if I get the facts or the figures the year right 96 no yet or buy. Proud to that no we need it no.
Okay.
Or buy you na party for no and Ghana for no ne or no constituency for say day a 2 abaye day ema no. Okoya say 24 years. Then he stepped out. Or step out no na party here day elusi. It should signal you one thing that sometimes no and yet party nko for here day e 2 abana day amano. But a certain individual the influence in terms of our constituency and a was so a same party no or na party for no and nasa Ghana for and nasa constituency for here so a 2 abaya. I give you one example. In the case of Akufo-Addo, okay, the bra Akufo-Addo now why the highest office I know occupy a minister
of Foreign Affairs
or Foreign Affairs and the Attorney General, right? No one vice president for the past 8 years. And I was a vice presidential candidate for 8 years. 16 years within the space, and he was not really at the helms of affairs, controlling things. In terms of visibility, yes, he was there, but now on you be a what would be a bit immediate, a benchmarking a judge. Yes, so Akufo-Addo's popularity in the history of MPP, we need the first round of election. Look at 2008. Yeah. He won with over 100,000 votes difference. Actually, and the court time, round of a went to mine, he needed some 0.24%, and no anchor ya a coordinator. So okay, so when Akufo-Addo win in 2016, or perform the 4 years in 2020, na nipa Ghana for we say oh MPP there o ma anya ade but the Ghana for kan almost Akufo-Addo ya ade but the Nkrofo na anya dey amo no. Okay. And people then started saying say 4 more for Nana. I don't know man can say 4 more for MPP because Nanado's popularity was so high then. Even after 4 years, oh yes, Nanado buy, or about Galam say, yes, Nanado buy, banks who, yes, so Ghanaian says, so Nanado there, or you had an appointees in Anya day, Ahamwano. So she also gives you an idea and a clue, say, Nanado's popularity then in 2020, in a coalition. So, to the sense that me this year, to the sense that Nanado crowd in 2020, about to acquire Sakotri and Crowd, you vote to know as a course, so okay, now 2016, we have 5.8 million. Okay. But then he moved to 6.7 million in that very short space of 4 years, So the point I want to say is the popularity of a candidate matter. Yeah. The people were voting for Kennedy Agyapong, they were not voting for the party. When Ken left, the people felt well. Now they are also say a lot of them crown Kotoama your presidential candidate no wan koto ama presidential candidate when you home no wasa yede ato ama pieces no because election no concurrent interestingly inipa be 345,000 plus omko ballot center ho one mu wie no mo to ma ye pieces no and still voted for our president, voted against our presidential candidate. So when people say oh I don't know Ken Ntimanya saying sita, it's a very simplistic logic that one, Ken's popularity was what was sustaining Asen Central City. O free mono, nkofo ni feel so mun o party ne hwe. Secondly, the presidential candidate ne koye no o underperforming. Nkofo we be kwa nkoto ama no mpo no ho ato ama ye pieces no.
So Akwasi, when you check leadership, it should always be evolved around Kwasi Kwarteng. So say Kwasi Kwarteng in Hodia, nothing moves.
Yes.
And then take the leadership style of Honorable Kennedy or Kennedy Agyapong. If Sequoia's Onu Hodia, a Central MPP, quote unquote, is dead.
No, but you see, you also have to look at it from the dynamics.
Okay.
Senkofo pewasema.
Okay.
Again, Akufo-Addo, in 2016, unya 5.8 million. Yeah. 2020, unya 6.7 million. When Akufo-Addo left the scene, and then Akufo-Addo anyama, yay. Then one MPP in terms of so board or tabamiya winning election. Yes, so we had 4.16 million. Remember? So which means the people, the party no, Akufo-Addo and Taban or the other day, or DSC no the other day, you move. It didn't mean Akufo-Addo am working anyday, am I? But also means say nipa ne bi no party for any day, any entum. Enti nipa, for instance, be a parliamentary no party for the president any day no. I will say this is not the Kennedy Agyapong person. This is not Kennedy Agyapong no. The people felt that they were not obliged to vote for him. So it's not really about say, oh, uniwa obintimi nyade enyo. But it has more to do with ufri hono. What is the vacuum? Okay. What I say, and then I say more be arguing about say the Ken's popularity and the Ken's personality and it's the same thing. Akufo-Addo 6.7 million. Okay. Akufo-Addo leaves the scene in just a couple of months. Not even months, because it was still December 2024. Yeah. And our votes then reduced by 33% in the whole country. And even the southern regions, you know, typically you realize that they are, most of them are account regions, MPP aligned. Yes, MPP aligned. Or also stay by 31%. Despite the fact that we had even a candidate from the north, also stay by 16%. What are we talking about? Can you blame Akufo-Addo for that? You cannot. Because his face was not on the ballot. Oh, party no one why they are here. You could you two party no here in 4 years time, party the say here. What I say? So the candidate matters. Nobody can convince me say the candidate does not matter. If you talk about DDEP, you cannot separate candidate in the coalitions, you know, from DDEP. If you talk about dollar, maybe another dollar, you found 1:4. Na Muhammad Jabba 4 to 17. You cannot say the candidate was not part. What I say? Sabra Napko Nanko to be 2 years, and you cannot tell me say the candidate was not part. But on Kaho, assuming without admitting so on Kaho, but at the Bonnie Bia and at the Bonnie DB on Kaho, but the Bia by the end the candidates in the year was in the government. It doesn't work that way. So I may person what I say candidates no so they a Kaho. Intimate for Bia day and two candidates in the year they acquire also. But say as an analogy in the year there, why will you blame Akufo-Addo for Bahumia's loss? Why will you blame Kennedy Agyapong for Bia on the contest election for the loss? It doesn't work that way. Let people be responsible for their actions and inaction. Okay, this all share Uti Venezuela. That's MPP presidential vote history from 1992 to 2024. I see 2 points. Okay, let me try and read from so here. Yeah. Oh, first time, no. My grandpa went to
okay.
In 92, no.
Okay.
So MPP, oh, you say Emma Dr. Baumianya the entraso. But the way my chief for at assessor in MPP, in Yabako Semo, in the history of MPP, no. Obi a man akwanya mana twice bia no or demonstrate say obetimi e de votes na ide akwanimu. Okay. So the whole idea about second chance no is contingent on performance. Okay. Why anya dia intimi fa anya de enkobio. Okay. And do you adubu here? Adubu here the first time graph no unya 1.2 million. Now the one says abe na adubu here kra na Rollins no mo na transition from military era to constitutional rule. This habre about to to home and say pick ballot box so no money had those 92 then. Yes, to Dubai 1.2 million. When him said Dubai difference on Rollins in was 1.1 million. I Dubai here no far the party buy no. On Rollins 1.2 million. Rollins beating 1.1 million votes. Still better than what Dr. Bahomia lost on. Ono Yamana Nkobio. Party for honest work went to and then 96 they brought for Kofo by no, or the vote share no 1.2 to 2.8 million, almost more than doubling it. Okay. And to me, Kofo him can say, even though have a vote to not call a name, you are day, Ephraim. What I say, because he demonstrated the track record, say, waiting me a day, okay. Then Akufo the first time. Akufo the first time when you have 4.5 million. Okay, no crowd dynamic and we need in the first round. Okay. Ah, you caught time hoye day and dane.
So then fetch me graph there. I mean say but my graph ni be. So it means say Akufo do maintain Kufo voter original. That's 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5.
Okay.
Yeah, 4.5.
Okay.
But you see, the difference is that even though maintaining Akufo vote or the Jan, if you want to compare the difference between Akufo and candidate Mills, then Akufo even beat candidate Mills by 100,000 votes.
Okay.
So he actually won the first round. And Akufo called this 6.7 jar, Dr. Baumia. Now Dr. Baumia takes 6.7 also by 33%.
Okay.
And do you share a trajectory up, 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 then maintain, up, 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 down. You don't say they enter also. And to go for so Dr. Baumia, if you free her, or you so a Nord Lentia or a Cremonintia, nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. Nano Chairman Sabo, some is all penny. Dr. Baumia buy a trouble man, not come for a party, but say a trouble by the Emano. Nobody is playing religious politics. We are not saying say Dr. Baumia because of an religion. Far from that. We are saying say no more if you check the data no, one performer, and based on that non-performance, no, you could be what. Because it took him a hammer 8 years and wanted to take a difference of 1.1 million votes with candidate Akufo in 2016. Yeah. And to what they 1.7, we are looking at about 13.6 to 14 years. One and two, all things been equal. That is why we need a fresh face. That is why we need a new face. In the spirit of revival, me quite saw a Presby. Presby, I saw a Kotoda, if it be in Kenya, esom. A boy to for prophet to be, no, a bash or any abede, a bear. One also beating a Konongo, now Konongo software. No one dome for abaya day, abaya sorry. And maybe be I say be a domestic for on yard you. No, domestic for yard. But there comes a time I'm pretty focused in so chair to my day a year. After 16 years of being in the helms and leadership of the party, as a vice presidential candidate and also vice president of the party, Papa no yebi and 100% yebi. But baby a party needs them. See, to me, Padia, here will be a party for the other, Ejinidi. Here will be a Casa party for the other 80. The party for them fananko na 2020 intimidate enko win election. Okay, so Kwasi Kwarteng kasaba for a day ma ora Kennedy or Hine Agyapong in Chinkomo and anopay about the chances of Kennedy or Hine Agyapong. Abra MP before Eko or Mabato also in 2026 January. Was it good summer for Kase? Yes, MPP lose the 2024 election way back in 2022. How much want to Kasa?
What's the party for them penny for be Kase? Party that's more losing. Muluzui Abanokra way back in 2022.
Yes.
When things got out of
yes, hand. Yes.
Would it be said, or said now can it mean blaming Pabako?
Yes.
And it mean you need also very Pabako. So collectively, do you think it's a part in this model for 2024?
Yes, you see, my main Joe. Let's do it this way.
Okay.
In 2024 election, yeah. Assuming it was not Mahama and any other candidate bar for NDC, come home by Chiromogakra.
Okay.
And assuming it was also not Dr. Baumia, and let's say somebody like Chief Alan, and the Koya Kadanamese was also changed. At the national level, no, you cannot be simplistic about your analysis and say it's a candidate in the encounter. But to be fair, won't mean you candidate, won't mean you any candidate here. So, but for instance, if it will be a on one campaign, it will be about no votes by day, or the Zongo votes by day, no few or no more crying the Antoamano. How do you reconcile the two? Share Ubia party for about 345,000 of them, a Kotuaba, normal to my parliamentary candidate, but voted against the presidential candidate. How do you say a party? They are essentially saying one more MP, presidential candidate. You buy a Kotu out of 276 constituencies, 199 of them are to your presidential candidate. Okay. Your 7 regions were when we need one constituency. How do you say that is the party? 7 regions, not even a single constituency. How do you say is the party? Okay. What I say? So yes, the party will take its responsibility, but the ultimate responsibility, especially over party for one more pieces, one more presidential candidate, and in the history of Ghana politics, this is the only first time pieces outperform in terms of the total voter share, the nominal values, this is the only first time since 1992 parliamentary candidates has outperformed the presidential candidate. And clearly they didn't like the presidential candidate.
Make us said so they Kwasi Kwarteng and a walk with your switching and commodity for NPP primary year basso January 2026. When our quick messages here, we say Kwasi, good morning. Please tell my brother Kwasi Kwarteng that he should stop this. Why letting Kennedy use his popularity to campaign to retain a seat for the NPP in his constituency? You are making your preferred candidate look unblemished. Your loss should be collective responsibility. Isaac Mensah, anyway, a buy. Now, another one, so here. Or say, someone said the NPP lost the 2024 election. Kennedy Agyapong said NPP lost the election in 2024 in 2022. Was Bawumia the flag bearer? NPP are thieves and stolen government lands. I will join the NDC to arrest them. The NPP has already lost power. You are going out of power. Did all this not affect the NPP in 2024? Kwasi, ask my brother Kwasi Kwarteng. We should be fair in our campaign. Okay. This one too says, Kennedy Agyapong is the only man who can rescue the NPP in this dying moment. Dr. Bawumia has done his best, but unfortunately, Ghanaians have rejected him outright. He shouldn't dare try again. Was he? Honorable Kennedy Agyapong.
Yeah.
Ghana for Penno as president. Ghana for Penno.
Yes.
Dear research, Namaya Monsa Ghana for Kennedy or Agyapong as president.
Say, you need to step out and talk to Ghanaians.
Okay.
For instance, Oko Trotroma, a day na Ghana for the Eka. Almost Kennedy, the Okano Crest, I'm going to buy a bed. Yabeto. Oko Soria, a day na Soria America. MPP for one fake my day, Yanto. A Memuano, Odi Kukumase, maybe a boy is Tompa boy, then no mocha. Trotro for then no mocha. So one of the even tests in a research is also observation.
Okay.
We observe when I was shot, a day na do one Eka. And what makes Ken unique is say, the confidence and the trust people places in him. So maybe I don't know. It's not really about Obi or say suit. Now, and the Solomon want to start a tetano. Now, a kwala or near Fana Boyabo. Now, a camera banny a chat. Now, or humble. Meanwhile, the person may not necessarily be humble. Who's a room higher misconstrue weakness with humility. And you will be at the second say, somebody who is so passionate about getting job done. Almost kind of a temperamental. What I say, we are not presenting Ken because he's a spotless candidate, no, or any part, or on the strengths or on the shortcomings. But I'm saying, say, the basic character traits are the ibu of mine. Say, akukodro, discipline, patriotism, honesty. It has more to do with discipline. Okay. Maybe I'm say, hey, Papa back home say, I'm a coffee boy. Also, here 10 billion. Minister for Lands and National. Also, here $10 billion. We don't need $10 billion. It has all to do with the enforcement issue. Is that the political will? And you'll be on the presidency better on the line.
It can't beat me a fight.
The issue. Not the party for kind of party for us. On one party for is able to dare his party people and challenge them.
It's not the more reason here. Nema a wee baby na MPP who nya kono for. If you want for some better about them MPP.
Then more reason.
Second, a support no akasa the party. Using quote-unquote some unprintable words against the party.
I'm sure, say
he was a member of parliament.
I'm sure, say
on your ticket.
I'm sure, say Ken. Me no a Wednesday. Is Ken? What do you me the fancy? To me, you about me a no me possum bar. Me, what Ken now? You are not saying he's a spotless candidate. Candidate, we have more character traits will be our nedia.
Okay.
Say Dr. Bawumia, people think so humble.
Okay. But
then go for say. Until me and fairly up decision.
So if he's weak.
If he's weak. Okay. And it depends on how you see it. In the case of Ken, as well Ken, I can't argue. Ken the party for the atom. I said, what is the contest? The contest here, Obi is so passionate about getting results. Now, didn't see a party na fitted timer, you take party. Now, if you want party here, the essay. Assuming with that admitting, say, Ken and some more catch a party. 2 years ago, even prior to the election.
Okay.
It's a party ni fire. And can you be a Jina day? And no. Also, more party for. Party for a form for no. Those are the people you should take care of.
So how can Kennedy Agyapong bring discipline to MPP when he himself some time ago Ejina Bontiaka party most in Canada?
Okay. Also, more party for. More party for. More and this is also a quite name I say that. But mind you, sir, as more can say Kennedy party for time. Yeah. I remember one instant. My main customer me do na penny to me for. I don't have his permission. MP back to put his name out there. No, what can say? Ken defend the party, and then will be a day a issue against him. And you can see Okasa, ya na one man I boko a day kakra. Okay. Because o boss no. Nipa o come on more maybe in a bon mo say o Kennedy on tremendous for Kennedy party say on and no be a issue against him. Day you say can see MP for him kwasa for. What has him? Yeah. 8 minutes tape. And on no could try bear 1 minute 30 seconds. But if you listen to the full taper, this was the contest. President Akufo-Addo, open a friend Gabi. Me nipa na no mekotro ho asem be dia tuo. Yeah. And I say osafoma for na party mpanifo kakra no mo sia party for e wo Koforo Gabi fi. No mudi nkomo e ka party ho asem. Them say owura e friend osafoma for no. According to the records no o make comments bia na edentawantawa kakra ba on superiority complexes between Achemfo and Asantefo. So then somebody picked the phone and on record in some normal day or more can party new. We know they come out pro NDC station, Accra FM, so more. Now, or minim dear, then the Pacoere or pay. Then there is a feud between Mensia and the Achems. Quickly, Akufo-Addo had to intervene by going to Mensia. Now, a man say, oh, Biano, one more interest him, say that was not the contest. So, when I would see a party, and you see the party say, now can be no muntia. If you are Kwasi Kwarteng, because oh, ni party are we here, Nyansanya anymore. But Ken, as bold and courageous as he is, Bakato said, no, let's look into the person's face. Nipa no yeno, then Ganji Nipa say, Adia yeno, Jimisem. So it is not a case to say he was the DMP before you at him, but always contest is very important. Say the contest are one more MPP for HCIA one multi record or at the command station pro NDC station. Some cotton table, some year do that almost brought a feud between the Asantes and the Achemson and no from say Kwasi. But ya no 8 minutes video, near for 1 minute 30 seconds. It's okay there, Omunipa. As of was and then we say was a second with this as of fast atom. And I'm saying, why no did it atom? What did you so far atom was it dead? Me a praise be only the praise be there as of atom. Hey, yes, Christo. About 2,000 years ago, Ora, I saw them who no musin tonto, and then Yamia sorry fee, and you know my answer. What did he do? He rebuked them. And the Ken only exemplified what Christ did 2,000 years ago. As of Obiano come myself. Say, be near Fanko for near Jinko for Japadi, near Jinko for Cass. And the charlatans hide under the umbrella of God. Then there was a Ken, a president, I didn't know. He has to go and apologize to them. You rather weaken him. Tinano, if you never say, let Ken be Ken. Let Ken be Ken, so in say, baby, one hone and Yami and Mianka, no, or Nipa. And they cross some have bafom, Casano, and maybe I say, you know, Boko, because you also have to understand the culture of the people. Ghana is naturally a conservative. And yet, we be any team can say, you see a canon. But may critique a certain template that may weaken your leaders. You're humble, humility. Ghanaians are more interested in Nipa what track record so big critique jobs are more than who they think is humble or not humble. Ghanaians are more interested in that. Humility, road safety regulations, intimate enforcement, sanitation laws, intimate enforcement. We are not able to create jobs. Yeah, decent living. Go check it, World Bank or more report. I say in about 10 years' time, about 1.2 billion job seekers. Out of that 1.2 billion job seekers, only 800 million, only 400 million of those jobs will exist. 800 million of them in Niho. Oba Ghana is unemployment to 14%. One more year, the same World Bank will tell you, say, 80% less than 3,000 cities. 3,000 Ghanaians was through. Now, we have a mobile, after we saw car, after we saw year there. Now, say you over years or bonsa, which are tight so you how do you live in your own country? The Ghanaian dream of being able to live in. How do you live such a decent life in Wow, my and the memoir we are apply school Canada. One more school, I'm just a moko. okwa no wa ton ma me asase na bibi no akota Canada okwa no otwi uba na ya dehye aye ahoho nkofo ye de ekuro in our own country. And then the Ghana Statistical Service will then tell you say 20% of Ghanaians are just terribly poor. Net ya emo. And the baby I do it's not been about yes will be a gentle, yes more gentle, and you're more calm, you're more humble. Which problems has he been able to solve? The baby I do we need somebody like Ken. We are not saying let Ken be Ken for the excesses, no we need, but we are saying that let Ken be Ken to be who he is in terms of the patriotism, in terms of the honesty, in terms of the discipline, in terms of nakukodro no find day emu omayano. One ojitumi, two create jobs and the discipline ewo omayano enye djuma okena administration. So no it won't work. That one I can assure you it won't work.
Obviously Kennedy Agyapong F1 people being canasem.
I'm sorry there.
Of 1 people being canasem.
Now say if you in recent times for the past 4 years or say now 3-4 years or year we the name so at least from 2022 2023 but there is no person that has been vilified more than Ken. Look at how Bronya is treating him. That when I take party penny you can hear him say let's call the guy to order consistently minimum craft general basis every day what did he ban at him to the extent that he has a show TV our running party people follow as to how he built it nobody knows. In the America channel, people will say, who leader be so or humble, as to be bia, or say Obiachi, not Yaki Kansem.
Many so person cancer Dr. Bob Yasha Bronyach.
I don't think say Sanam Pesemeka, then Pesemeka on say there are sometimes on Obi Adiana directly, people feel say you are the ultimate beneficiary. As also a mark of leadership, you also come out and call the person
to the ultimate beneficiary for Niabronya.
I will tell you who is not. Ken is not. I will tell you who is not. Ken is not the ultimate beneficiary of that.
So who is the ultimate beneficiary?
No, I will tell you who is not. But as for who is there, I leave it to the jury out there. Say they are brought in or Yamahoy. What I say? And the whole
because Honorable Kenny Abronya was special issue.
Special
beyond
special
normal politics.
Special day or Pidano or Buano or Mana Quenya Baby. And if you didn't free so better to by Yahuma, Ama by Yaramakes. Special day. I said, Ben Intiminka. And then a young man, a chairman, gets up, opens up a TV station. Maybe only a cigar free will be him. And then every Sunday, Bia has to attack a leading member of the party. Nobody cares.
Can I report it?
Oh, I don't think it's about. We are focused on our campaign. That's what I would say. We are focused on our campaign. Okay. A lot of that time, sometimes give time some time. Now, Unya, if there is any other test approved to be most consistent and most reliable, it's a test of time. So, Ken is focused on his campaign.
It looks as if the prophecies not somehow on your favor. Prophecies are Pia Bonteno. When share Prophet Bernard Chi with some of the prophecies now, yet to your favor. Sometimes he defends the prophecy to the core, looking as if that's what personal interest be in Kenya upon becoming president.
I elected not to respond to him because if okay. Now, sometimes you also don't let politics cloud your wisdom. Normally, but the point is, Bernard, so as more can say, no credit, send no credit. 31st, say, Ebeba. And Ebeba no, say, you Sumaya, no be any day, in we, Nini, you won't be who, Tibanchina, you Jana Bede, a better. What I say, you see, we are not banking our hopes on prophecies. Okay. Prophecies are 3 key characteristics. It can come to pass, it can delay, and it can fail. We a student of Bible's jurisprudence. You realize that even prophecies can fail. Okay. We are not banking our hopes on prophecies.
Honorable Ken, was she a prophet Bernard?
Yes, was she? Was she?
After sending up man.
Yes. Was she? I think it's a birthday in a man of friend or Chiano. Okay. Yeah, it's a team who made that decision. Okay. You know, Ken is not really a prophetic person. Or a Methodist. And the Methodists are the Protestants. Yeah, I see this, I saw this, I heard. Because Munipano, yes, I need too much. Or
the prophecies needy.
I would say yes to some extent. Because you see, as a Christian, the Bible says that believe in my words and believe in my prophets. What I say. Until you can't be a Christian, only prophecy in the end. The only prophecies coming from fake prophets. What I say. And if there is anything like genuine, there is also fake. Yeah, or white or black. Other than that, there wouldn't be any mention point. And you will be an abrabo and an animal too. And fatal, be a whole kind of manipulations. That's why he doesn't believe in them. But I mean,
Mama, Prophet Ebenard's spiritual assignment be to do on your behalf?
No, we've met him at our level. Say it was public. Me crowd me di any mood ekoye.
Okay.
Anna ne birthday so no Ken. Yeah, ma Ken yeah the friend.
Okay.
I mean, you know Ken star. Ken yeah asofa same.
Okay.
By any friend. Say on we share Bernard birthday no on I mean no so no so nipa. Sometimes you also have to use the human interface.
Okay.
And of course it's not only Bernard. And now so Pambo Abeka. Beneza. We've even at our level, the team's level, we meet men of God. But the point is that we are not banking all our hopes on prophecies. We are not banking all our hope on prophecies. We are going to work. Yene for more for nekasa. Ebu kwaso. Ahobrase kwaso. Kasa de kwaso. Kasa trene kwaso. Ye momo hu ade konti ade ken eba ede ebe boy.
Nyame pemu se ken win obemo showdown na.
But Ken has the record say when we know about Dr. Baumia. Maybe the reverse should rather be say Dr. Baumia win and experience the shock in 31st obey day. Because Ohekena, he has that track record.
Okay.
So Lusu 2023. No? The following day he was on Baumia's campaign.
Okay.
But I am very confident he won't lose. He will win and will reclaim the party.
Kwasi Kwarteng.
Kwasi Kwarteng.
Kwasi Kwarteng kasaba for the man. What can they do?